Hello and welcome to Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's Friday, September 4th, 2020. I'm Crypto Jack and I'm sitting in for Justin Wise again today. And of course, I'm joined by senior analyst Alex. How you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Gray. Jack, thank you.
Nice, glad to hear that. Alright, so just as a little update to the community, yes, Justin still isn't here today. Unfortunately, he's a little burned out lately. I'm sure everybody knows Justin works on a pretty much around the clock heavy schedule. I think he's overworked himself in the last week, and I think we advised him to take a week off, and we've kind of been able to cover for him. And at this point, I'm sure everybody wants him back. I imagine he will be most certainly back by Monday. But in the meantime, our analysts have stepped in to kind of fill the gap. I'll make sure nobody's left hanging, especially during this exciting time in the markets. Today we're gonna maybe keep it a little casual, and yeah, we're gonna be analyzing the markets, see what comes next, and Bitcoin, of course, managed to kind of bounce off the 9K range there. I'm not sure. I don't think the CME gap was quite filled. Again, the controversial phenomenon in the crypto markets, but I guess we're
Well,
going to explore
CME
it.
gap super wasn't filled specifically because CME closed before we got anywhere near that level. Again, so all this area down here. Let's take a look. So I know it opened up this morning. You wanna head on over, Jack?
Yep, moving over to your scene now.
Okay. We'll open up CME.
And I'll just quickly say hello to whoever's in the live chat. Let me just quickly check who's in here. We had Mr. Ether, of course, show up early. Azriel is in here. K-Smooth7. Zach Coma is in here. And Cornholio. And Cornholio, of course, asks, is the CC crew still bullish? Well, we're going to explore that question right now. But in the meantime, Alex, you are up on the stream. Do your thing.
Are we still bullish? I think so. You know, this was a very scary sell-off. I know there's been a very scary sell-off in traditional markets too. And I don't know how long the sell-off is going to last. I don't know if today is the end of the sell-off. I don't know if we're in for another 2 weeks, a crypto winter, or what have you. But what I do know is that the market interest is there for Ethereum and Bitcoin right now. Like institutions kind of they can't open up enough, ways to sell Bitcoin, to do stuff with Bitcoin, yada, yada, yada. And we've all tried to send a transaction recently with Ethereum. And let me tell you, Ethereum is a pretty popular network right about now. Yesterday, yesterday I had a failed Ethereum transaction for $45. The failed transaction cost me $45 on Ethereum. As an aside, while we're on the subject, man, Ethereum's really popular right now. I don't know if it's going to make it through this bull market. They really better rush Ethereum 2.0 because this is this is borderline unusable and the bull market's just getting started. So yes, back on the topic of bullishness and bearishness. Yeah, I think we are still in by the dip territory. So we've been staring at these lines and these boxes for roughly okay, please go away. Thank you. No, don't do that. We've been standing at these lines and boxes for roughly a month and a half now, and this bullish order block did not hold. This is a very strong one. This is essentially 10K support. Now the bulls really do need to hold 10K. The more closes that we close below 10K, and you know what, maybe we could even close down into 9,700 and then bounce back up. Yeah, I don't really know, but the more closes we have below 10K, it's a very, very dangerous signal because that's essentially, below support, and then most likely will fall down to the 9K range, and then there's no, like, 9K is like sort of already held this one time. I would be, and it held very well, but it had to hold for like 2 months. So I would be shocked if we landed back on that area again. No, I really do like this for a reversal buy. Currently, Bitcoin is looking stronger than Ethereum in this area right now. So let's go ahead and take a look. So you see, Bitcoin has kind of landed on this support. So it broke the support up here, landed on this one, rather strong support, I would think, because we took so long to get through this resistance. But that is not quite the case with Ethereum. We have not had a very bullish recovery. In fact, let's go down to lower time frames. It just kind of looks like we've wicked into support a little bit more. I wouldn't necessarily call this, I wouldn't call this bearish unless we start closing more below 380. As you can see, we just kind of wicked into that area right now. Did I just remove a line or something? Go back. Yeah, there we go. So as long as we're above the support, I do remain bullish on Ethereum. But Ethereum could take another tumble here down to this area, and Bitcoin might not take a similar size tumble, because if we look over at Ethereum Bitcoin, don't forget this area was essentially my long-term Ethereum Bitcoin long target, because it was a kind of the top of this entire trading range. It seems to me if we recover from down here, break up to here, that makes a lot of sense. That we kind of test back down, trade sideways, and then continue onwards. So yeah, Ethereum could break down further here, which you can see in the ETH Bitcoin pairing, and it wouldn't necessarily have to reflect on Bitcoin's ability to recover from this area. Is everybody tracking me so far? Because I understand, this is awfully speculative, but what else can we do here? I don't know for sure what direction.
I'm looking at the live chat and I see a little bit of critique coming your way. People are
Okay.
people I think are calling us out for being permabulls, and I'm not convinced that the bullish trend has truly been broken quite yet. But I'm gonna read a couple comments here, and then for instance, Cornholio says, "Are you all at the CC crew still bullish?" Well, we're trying to answer that right now. Wook Chewy says, "Just buy the tip." I think he meant dip, or maybe he's having to laugh. Cisco Kid says, "Buy the dip?" Question mark. That's what you said yesterday when it was 11.6K. I think you meant a couple days ago. But let's see here. K Smooth 7, nice hourly reversal candles this morning. Okay, maybe looking on the hourly. Zach Coma says, "I'm still in 2 shorts with ETH and BTC. All of my profits I'm throwing into Tether." So certainly trying to hedge himself brace himself for potentially more downside. Wook Chewy, 95.70 will be Tuesday's low. Doctor Who apparently told him so. RJ Jamal says BTC price September 4th, 2019 versus September 4th, 2020 is the same. So we're exactly where we were a year ago, according to RJ Jamal. That's very interesting. Wook Chewy again calling for a reversal on Tuesday. And if you bought, RJ Jamal says, and if you bought BTC last year for 10K, hold it. Market has adopted more. Yeah, we're definitely, I think, every year that goes by in Bitcoin, we're more mature, more adapted. No massive failures have occurred, so things are going well. Zach Coma asks, how many rows are you using for your VPVR?
Just a whole buttload of rows. I think I use 150, but I try and use as many as I can without slowing down the compiling, because this is not the right one. Because if you throw on 150. If you throw in like 300 or so, it doesn't get that much more. I mean, it doesn't get that much more finely done, but it takes forever to compile when you go to a new chart. Okay, well, that was a very good example. But sometimes it takes forever to compile.
There you go.
So.
Zach says ETH has had a huge run up and it has more room to fall, and I do kind of concur with that thought. ETH has been a big mover this season, and I could see,
Yeah, it has been.
things do need to correct, and very well Ethereum has potentially more room to correct in that regard. Mr. Unicorn
Yeah.
says the most bullish I've been since the March meltdown. This is exactly what the weekly needed. Yeah, I was gonna say we should look at the weekly charts for maybe Bitcoin
Okay.
and Ethereum and see what we
Let's
have
pull
there.
them
But
out.
you know what? This is exactly what we do need on a solid rally. But again, Bitcoin seems to be more and more correlated to mainstream markets, and those are tanking as we mentioned. But yeah, let's take a look at that weekly.
I'll tell you, the 3-day here is really ugly. Like this is an ugly 3-day candle. It's closed yesterday. Yeah, let's pull out some higher time frames here. It's kind of an ugly higher time frame candle too, isn't it? Yeah, I think maybe we want to see 300 retested here on the weekly. Yeah, basically, if this area doesn't hold, this area, which area? What area am I talking about? This area. So, I guess these are the two order blocks where I would like to see Ethereum pull back. Get maybe something just a little cleaner. Here we go. Like this area, and then here. See, this is 300 too. So anywhere in here, I think there's a lot of volume down there to tap into, and it's also a nice support level on the weekly, which we can see looking back over here. So yeah, that area is this area. Okay, yeah, I think that makes the most sense. So
Certainly, and as Evo points out in the live chat, 30 to 40% retracements in bull markets are common, something to
yeah,
consider bears, and Zach Coma concurs 40% is a
it's
very
true.
common retracement for crypto, and very well something we need to brace for.
Mhm. We've already had a solid 25% here, so hopefully not too much further.
Yeah, apparently, we're some kind of hybrid bear and bulls. We're the kind of bulls that can allocate or allow for 40% retracements and still remain a bull. So again, some kind of chimera of an animal here when it comes to these markets where we can somehow swallow 40% retracements and still bring this up. But for God's sake, I would love to see Bitcoin at new all-time highs, if not this year, next year.
That's for sure. EOS starting to look really good here on the weekly. It had a really amazing recovery today versus a lot of the other major alts. So this is the Ethereum bottoms where I've been telling you guys to buy in this area. As you can see, we got like a nice little reaction off that bottom today. And if you look at the Huobi chart, it's a little bit more intriguing. And see all the wicks down in this area in the recovery. I kind of do like the Huobi chart for EOS because EOS is a very I want to say Chinesey, but it's like a very Chinese oriented blockchain.
Very much
The
so.
Chinese government keeps declaring it to be the number one blockchain. We all know that a lot of the block producers are the block producer credentials are kind of hoarded by some of the Chinese block producers. So
Yep,
yeah, so the
very,
Huobi chart is
very
something I like to
popular blockchain in China.
something I like to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Look at this wick. All these wicks and the liquidity. These are bags getting filled. It may be time to buy EOS. Because we've been looking at it for quite a while, but it wasn't time in May, June, or July, or August. But maybe September's the time. Let's. I think I would either like to get like a real close above 28.75. Like we've already had this fake out close, so that's good. One more real close in this area would be stellar. Yeah, if we could just get some kind of breakout, some kind of confirmation, it's totally, EOS is ready. It's ready. It's had a very quiet alt season, but we know there are a lot of whales who are going to want to pump this thing. It's just going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yep.
And that's the thing about trading. Like so much of it is like timing. If you buy back here, you're an idiot. If you buy here, you're a genius. Even though both ways, if you just like hold and go, you make your money.
Indeed, I see a few comments here from people saying EOS was crazy today. T-Dub says he's glad he took a long on EOS bull, so he is a serious EOS bull. I would love to see my EOS bags wake up. This is a sleeping giant. You'd think with all the Ethereum troubles swirling around Ether, we would see maybe some of the something like EOS, which was kind of almost the original ETH killer, pick up a little bit of steam, but
well, see, the problem is that EOS is so centralized. I would be really leery about locking up my money on EOS and then having. Does it stay locked in the same way that Ethereum? The truth is I'm too deficient in my smart contract knowledge, but I would just be a lot more leery. And also, the dApps aren't there yet. Just people aren't building on it in that way.
Totally. And again, you're right. A lot of the China-centric FUD, I think, has kind of turned off quite a bit of the community. Development hasn't really been there. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe something is due to change on that front.
Litecoin is a good buy the dip situation here. So we're right near trading range lows. I would love to see the major altcoins finally move. Shitcoins and mid caps have had their day. Ethereum is looking a little weak, but Bitcoin's recovery is looking stronger. And we talked about that earlier. I would love to see Bitcoin recover from this area. Ethereum, it would probably trade sideways, I would imagine, if Bitcoin recovered and Ethereum didn't recover, because obviously Bitcoin's USD price appreciation is going to pull up the Ethereum USD. Justin says buy the dip, everybody. Yes, thank you for your couch washing advice. So Justin agrees. He's bullish too. Buy every dip, guys. So yeah, Ethereum would trade sideways, Bitcoin would appreciate, and the major alts would finally get their day in the sun. If you recall, ADA was one of the very early pumpers. It was actually one of the harbingers of the altcoin market. Started pumping in March, whereas the other altcoins didn't really start until April, if you remember. So TRX is, as you can see, its day in the sun has already begun. If anybody wants to know, do you buy Tron here or something like that? Man, I don't know. I guess I would probably, if you can score it in this area, you should. But yeah, I definitely don't buy. Well, you wouldn't be buying at the top of a green candle anymore, but I'd be real careful with TRX. Still, Justin Sun knows what he's doing. XRP still kind of I don't know, still kind of wilty. I imagine it's going to land back in this area right here. It has not retested its lows in the way that Litecoin and BCH. Well, I wouldn't really call that a retest of lows. I'd call that making new lows. I don't know. Someone braver than me can suggest buying BCH here because I do not suggest it, especially with increasing selling like that. Yeah, it's kind of ugly.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much future for forks like BCH. Maybe we really can't move forward with the market until some of these useless forks die off. But I'm sure people will probably hate me for considering BCH a useless fork. But yeah, maybe we need a few of the clones to go away. With that said, Bobby X says Ada Cardano is launching smart contract ability soon. Yes, it is, and of course Cardano is probably the premier smart contract platform that everyone has been promising for years will dethrone Ethereum. So could potentially do it. Maybe it'll be Ada, maybe it'll be Dot, maybe it'll be EOS. I guess we don't know yet, guys. T-Dub says maybe Ethereum Classic money will go to EOS. That'd be interesting. I'm wondering what. Again, that's another kind of potentially useless project that might have to be snuffed out before we can make any progress in this space. Although I'm not sure if Ethereum Classic might come into its own once Ethereum 2.0 goes online, right? Maybe Ethereum Classic is destined to be
Well, all the Ethereum miners, well, you can't mine anymore on Ethereum 2.0.
right.
It's got nodes, so all the Ethereum miners are going to have to point their machines somewhere. And I
Exactly.
imagine that Ethereum Classic will be a large beneficiary of that.
Yeah, I think Ethereum Classic could very well remain as the proof of work Ethereum chain if people's skepticism toward proof of stake remains, right? We don't know how the Ethereum 2.0 will play out, and it could very well be that Ethereum Classic will be its, spiritual successor or something like that. But I suppose that will take time to play out, and who knows if and when Ethereum 2.0 will truly arrive. That could still be another year or two out, right? Moving
I
just
hear this might have been Ethereum Classic's last pump. That the new ETH ASIC miners are just coming out like next week. And it's essentially like this is the exit pump, and yeah, all the miners are on their way out of Ethereum Classic.
indeed, indeed. Yep, S1AEXT has a request. Yep, we'll get to that. Bobby X says if you bought crypto at all with fiat, the government knows about it. The IRS forms in 2021 will be more specific, and they want direct answers and proof for 2020 tax season.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something we talked about a week or two ago on the show, Bobby. Yes, indeed, the IRS has moved the question about crypto to the first page of the 1040 form. So like it's literally the first question they ask you after your name and address. So clearly the IRS wants to know all about your crypto holdings, and in the future it's probably going to be increasingly more difficult to hide it from them. They're shacking up with all the chain analysis companies, and they'll probably be able to figure out every last bit of coin, where you got it, how you got it, when you got it, all that. So
Yeah, Coinbase is the ultimate crypto narc. They told the
word.
government everything, guys.
All right, let's keep moving along. What else we got?
All right. Well, I think perhaps we should go ahead and take a. Justin, you messaging me is really distracting me. Either get on the show or stop messaging me. Thank you. Anyway, so we are going to let's take a broader look at the market. So we said that we were gonna track the Dixie and see if Bitcoin's continued if it's gonna continue to go against Bitcoin. Okay, interesting. Bitcoin had a bad day yesterday. Green. Bitcoin has recovery today. Red. Okay. Okay, so far the theory that Bitcoin is tracking the inverse of the Dixie is kind of holding, right? So yeah, Dixie recovers, Bitcoin dramatically dumps, Dixie falls, Bitcoin begins recovery. Interesting. And let's see if the broader markets have also seen a little bit of recovery today, or if it's just more down. Yeah, more down, some slight recovery. Now the question is: Are we merely getting a retest of this area, or are we going to see further downside? This brings up an interesting point that it's a Labor Day weekend coming up. People are going to be at home even more so than they already are in the pandemic. could be a real ideal buying opportunity time.
Retail's gonna FOMO in over the long weekend holiday.
hmm It may very well.
Could potentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do some rapid fire DeFi analysis. Okay. Let's see here. Hmm. Man, can you imagine buying like, oh, this is the break of the high on Meta. That's it. I'm in. I'm finally in on Meta. Slap. 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 Man, none of these things are ready to buy yet. Man, Ren was looking fantastic there, wasn't it? Yeah, no, this is a serious break of support on Ren. Imagine we'll get like a. Give me my drawing tool. I can never find them. Probably something like that. And I imagine we'll likely retest this area down here on the VPVR. Yeah, there's also this high. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so this is where we kind of wanna bottom pick on Ren. See Bow. Yeah. Looking at if the rest of the DeFi are like Ren, then we need a couple more days of down. I'd like to see this area. I think you guys remember me talking about this before I complete that. I would like to see a retest of this area before we see any kind of continuation. Let's see some higher time frames on this. Yeah. Retest here. Boom. Maybe here. Strong. Not back down in this area. This area is off limits to us. I imagine Lend must be so overextended in this spot. What kind of trend lines do we have here to work with? We can delete these. Red just broke out of all those. If we trade sideways here for a little while, we could get a recovery. We could see more upside on Lend. It seems crazy, but find a strength, guys. This is not a big break of long-term resistance, and yes, we're getting some stronger sell candles a little over time, but we've crashed right down into support. Basically bounced off of 5,000 here. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. It's been hard to find an entry into Lend. It's just there's been so much upside on Lend. If you if you enter anywhere here, you get boom, you get shaken out, and then that was your chance to enter. But then anywhere above here that you entered, you probably got shaken out in this area. Maker. More sideways, like always for Maker. This is a really interesting signal here on ZRX. I think I might see if we can take this for the group later. It's very strong bullish divergence, as you can see right here. Nice signal on TT from the oversold area. Yeah, this could have some legs. Essentially, we've got resistance here, break of resistance, retest, continuation. Okay. Let's put this on the list. comp we looked at. Synthetics. This is ugly right here. Let's see if we've got SNX on where we can get the best data for SNX. Yeah, that is a strong break of trend, guys. Essentially, let me. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Yeah, let me put this on log because that's clearly like a parabolic log trend. But there you go, guys. Get out of synthetics for right now. I don't want to pick it up until like maybe $3. Yeah. And look at this bearish divergence right here. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Kiss synthetics goodbye. Yeah. So maybe $3. Where else do we want to pick it up? This is Bitcoin pairing. There we go. All right, so maybe I think these are the areas. This area, or this area. Somewhere in here is where I would like to see it ultimately retrace to. Yeah, we're in for like a 40% dip, guys, so do not buy this dip on synthetics. What else we got here? I don't know. None of these things literally look like dips that are ready to buy yet. Maybe I'm wrong about it being a dip buying weekend. Or maybe the dip buying opportunities are in the major alts and the minor alts and DeFi just need more time to cool off, you know? Because so far, I mean, you know, Litecoin, EOS, fucking, what was the other, one of the other major alts, I can't remember off the top of my head. You know, those look like they're ready to go. Not so much these DeFi ones, with the exception of ZRX. ZRX looks nice there. Yeah, PLT. PLT is looking not so great here. Let's open up ChartX. Definitely not worth buying unless it's over 35 cents. Well, I mean, maybe if you get like a. The problem with these new coins is like, you know, what do you really want? Are you really going to call this the bottom because we bounced off it once in the span of 2 months? It's not a very convincing statement. On the other hand, like, you know, the data that we have to work with is the data we have to work with. So I would imagine it's probably best just not to buy this until a break of 35 cents. And in that case, you have your confirmation there. You know, and obviously I would grab some kind of PTP indicator and stuff like that. If you can get a signal along with it, all the better. But yeah, I definitely, this is not ready to be purchased. This is an interesting spot on Meta. Let me. Bearish divergence. You can make the argument that it's already completed. But like what? It completed, bam, like in the span of one candle? I don't know about that. Maybe it's better to take Meta down to this area. Nice retest of that range before we see a move up. Because this looks like a rejection right here, especially with this with these wicks up into resistance. Yeah, so right now DeFi coins don't really look ready per se. If you guys have any DeFi coins that you want me to look at that I haven't looked at, ask throw that up on the in the in chat. There we go. And Jack will relay those to me. right now I'm gonna go through some of the I'm gonna go through FX.
Yep, run through the FX, and I got a few requests in the live chat I'm going to throw your way.
All right, so we know that the Dixie had a down day, so we can expect the dollar to be a little weaker today, which we do see. On the 3-day, we just see continuation. And in fact, uh, this is honestly strong enough that we may want to like enter the trend in this spot, because we can expect like a very strong movement through this low volume node. So what's it look like on the weekly? Ugh. What does this look like on the monthly? Oh man, triple top too here on the Fisher. USD CNH. I think down to here at least. I like that. Let's see, guys. Okay. By 2021. Here we go. Somewhere along here, guys. I called it here on the monthly. I have seen the future. It is grim. It's a very interesting spot here, isn't it? What is this? This is that high. Ooh. And it's so rare that we look at these higher time frames. How often is it that you really want to open up the monthly? Maybe once a month, but it is the beginning of the month, guys. It's September 4th. What better time to be looking at the monthly? That's what we're going to do for right now. We're going to go through all these forex charts on the monthly and see if we can identify any long-term trends that we can get in on. So this is a critical time for the US dollar yen. So we've had greatly decreasing volatility for the last 5 years. Let's go down to the weekly. Yeah, essentially we break down from this area finally, and that'll give us a trend to follow. Or we break up from this area finally, and that'll give us a trend to follow. So this is definitely going on our watch list, guys, because in a couple weeks, in a month or so, I don't really know. You can't tell with the monthly chart. This thing is going to move, and that'll be our signal. We can hop on for the ride. So I like that. Let's go back to the monthly. Let's see. Ugh, another ugly US dollar chart. But maybe giving a signal? Well, I've never taken a monthly Fisher signal, or TT signal, but I imagine it's a pretty strong signal. But we're 4 days into the month, so let's see how this month fares. But it could be an interesting sign of reversal and probably the Swiss franc's fortunes, I would imagine, because U.S. dollar is continuing to weaken. So that's right. We've been looking at this spot for a potential reversal buy on the U.S. dollar Canadian, and so far we are not getting any kind of buy signal. I would imagine. Like let's take out our baseline. Yeah, we're super below the base. Well, not super below the baseline, but we couldn't stay above it. We're not anywhere above zero on time transformation. We're barely pointed up. We're about to point down again. Just nothing here that really recommends this chart to us right now. Hopefully, sometime soon we'll get a stronger trend, and maybe that'll either be a break of this area, in which case we'll probably take it to 125 for our first take profit level. You can see there's a nice little bit of volume in that area. And gosh, if that doesn't hold, I would imagine us heading down to probably this area right down here, which would be crazy. That's like a good 10% change in the value of the US dollar versus the Canadian. It's outrageous. All right, more monthly signals. New Zealand is strong. New Zealand is strong. New Zealand's strong, guys. So I don't know how much you guys have kept track of international news regarding the pandemic. I'll presume you've kept track of it pretty strongly because all of us are stuck at home and there's an international pandemic going on. But New Zealand has done an incredible job of keeping the virus under control, and their economy is just puttering along like normal. Everything is super fine over New Zealand, and all those rich people have their bunkers over New Zealand too. So, yeah, New Zealand has been. Man, did I end up dropping this yesterday? I might have. Yeah, but it was a strong exit signal. That's right. But yeah, this New Zealand continues to be strong, and there I think there's a lot more trend to be followed if you're longing the Kiwi versus any of the weaker currencies. And weaker currencies are obviously it's a week to week thing, but we can get a general idea by how the economies of these areas are going. Great Britain. I don't see any strong trends forming. It looks like more sideways. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the greater market doesn't know what to make of Great Britain right now. They just had Brexit, so they're not a part of the Eurozone. So while the Eurozone is printing all that money, the Britain is incurring none of that debt right now. So none of that is reflected onto the Great British Pound. On the other hand, it's harsh not having easy trading partners, and that can be a real drag on an economy too. So no one knows what's going to happen with Great Britain. Great Britain doesn't know what's going to happen with Great Britain. But more than anything, the markets aren't sure, and sometimes the markets can be sure about something even when the broader populace is not. But even here, the markets are just like, I don't know. So yeah, you can see just more sideways. British pound, euro. Euro has been strong since excuse me. Yeah, the euro has been strong for the last few months, but I don't know. It just kind of looks like it's approaching resistance on a very thin amount. Like, yeah, look at that. It's approaching resistance on very, very weak price action. And I'm not convinced. Oh wow, actually this is very convincing. Yeah, I would love to see a move down here for one last poke before we move on. But I do love the euro versus the Swissy here. We may not get it. I think I posted this yesterday where I was like, yeah, we're gonna go down here. Today it does not look so sure. So yeah, if we get a break above this area, definitely long the euro Swissy, because it looks like a very very solid long, especially when you look on the monthly and above. What a nice monthly signal, man. We should just have a bot that takes every Fisher monthly signal during a bull market. I'll get on that. Canadian yen, Canadian Swissy. Is an interesting reversal along here, but I'm not sure how I really feel about it. Ooh, man, the Swissy really is weak. Everything versus the Swissy looks strong recently. Yep, New Zealand Swissy, USD Swissy, Australian dollar, Swissy, Canadian dollar, Swissy. I think we should look, and obviously we can't like short the Swissy here. Oh, this is a nice little break in this area right here. Maybe the Australian dollar has been strong. Not as strong as the New Zealand dollar. I think this is probably the one that I would want to take. This is like a really classic support resistance flip that we're about to get right here. So was support, support became resistance. Now about to flip for us again. We're gonna get a nice break of this, nice break of our baseline here. This is strong. I want to take both of these. I'd still like to see a pullback to this area. This looks like it's already broken out. I imagine this is most likely a retest of resistance turn support, and then we will see a continuation. You know, the yen has been weak. The yen's been weak for about 20 years. And the Australian dollar has been strong. So I imagine that trend is going to continue. All right. So I think that is a good overview of FX. I hope some of you Forex viewers got something useful out of that. Check out the monthly. There's some strong trends that are still just in their, early stages, I think.
All right, well done. Nice running through the FX for a change. Yeah. Very well observed, particularly with the monthly trends forming right now.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, what do you say we hop into a few requests, unless you have something else you want to get to?
Do it.
All right.
I can look at CFDs a little bit.
Want to do CFDs or a couple of requests?
Yeah, a little bit. Right now, let's do some requests.
All right.
Let's get that out of people's system.
All right. I got RJ here says, can we look at Serum as well as DOT?
Serum, boom.
And out of these two, which would you, if you were to take a position on? I think, as I see, he asked, there was an or qualifier in here, so I think he's asking which one should he take a position in. So let's look at both and then maybe figure that out.
Yeah, this is definitely not by the dip time on Serum. It looks like it's going to go the way of many of our other of DeFi tokens. It just like needs some time to relax. So Serum is a DEX coin. I'd like to see a retest of this high area again. I don't know really where we'd want to consider that to be the high area, but yeah, I think that's what I would like to see. It needs some more time to settle down. Well, let's check DOT and see what there is. It's also a large amount of selling volume starting to step in right here. I feel like I looked at DOT yesterday. It just, it needs time to settle down, guys. I mean, okay. Turn this off because it's useless. Yeah, guys, this is ugly. This is what we call, it was ugly yesterday, and it's ugly today. This is a three black crows pattern. We're going to see continuation. I probably would not buy until near $3. Maybe you can get away with $4. Yeah, I want to buy back in those areas. Definitely not up here. And even this area, like guys, I have 2 weeks of data here because DOT effed up their chart by doing a split for Y reason, because all these coins are infinitely divisible for fundamental reasons. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't have a good pullback area, but it's not there yet. Don't buy either of these coins right now. That's my advice. Give it like a week.
Well, there you go. Days. In other words, neither to RJ, who asked about that one. All right, on to the next request, and I see quite a few piling in here right now. Let me see which one I want to start with first. Bobby asks, anyone use KuCoin? Anybody use KuCoin, Alex?
No.
No, I'm not a KuCoin user either. But they've been around. I'm sure they are somewhat a functional exchange. Can't be too bad. They are established player in the scene. But I don't know too much about that. Andrew says BTC didn't have a red day yesterday and recovered today, man. Kind of had a red day yesterday, but I guess
Yeah,
depending
I'm
how
pretty
you
sure. Like I looked at my account, and my account could have sworn yesterday was a red day.
definitely a red day, but I guess
Yeah.
it depends when you started counting. You know, we did come off the 98-ish bottom there, and we're now back in the 10Ks, so maybe depending how you look at it, it's a glass half full kind of thing. Wookie Chewy, on a positive note, this is the first year that I don't blame myself for struggling so hard.
What
Okay.
do you blame society, or who do you
Um,
blame for your struggles?
maybe the market for throwing a couple curveballs, but I guess that means he's brushed up on his trading skills, and the rest is down to fate.
This is the first year I don't blame myself anymore. I blame you. I blame you. You
Philip
did this.
Philip Carr says he's loaded over in Britain. I think that's not the kind of loaded we're thinking about. Peckham, Alex, Discord, money. Not sure. Just posted the
Yeah,
members.
I
Okay.
saw it. Guys, I
He
cannot look at Discord messages and do this show at the same time. I just can't.
exactly.
Like
Okay.
Justin has a setup of like 4 monitors. I've got a 14-inch laptop. I
Yeah,
do the
it's
best
a
I
miracle he does what he does. What Chewy says, it took a pandemic for me to admit that it's not always my fault. Ah, that's what he was referring to. Yes, indeed. It is the global circumstances that can knock you on your butt, and these are the unpredictable black swans, and that can kind of come out of left field. Here we go. Next, did we look at Link yet? Ask Moonbase. No Moonbase, we haven't. So let's throw up Link on there.
can. Yeah, sure. Mm, I feel like it wants to pull back more. I think it might want to pull back to 100,000 sats here. Let's take a look at the USDT. Mm, Yeah, I got bad news, guys. I think Link might want to pull all the way back to like $8.
Link has been a serious high flyer, so you know if we are going to
Yeah,
see
it
an
has,
extended
and I'm not even
correction,
suggesting that Link is gonna like retouch his old high. Although if it did, it'd go down to $5. But I mean, it's been so strong that even just like a pullback to a reasonable level with some liquidity, it's gonna be like $8, guys. So yeah, that could be just like a week or two. I mean, hell, if this any more candles like this, it'll actually be like a day or two before it's down here. But most likely, I would imagine we're just gonna like scoot up here and then reject something like probably something like this, and
um,
then and then it'll form something like that. And then I'll tell you to buy here when it breaks that, and then I'll make an arrow that points upwards, and there's lots of future telling going on here. So
I see blue box territory here, and he says, Alex, are you not looking for shorts against BTC pairs?
I'm not looking for shorts against BTC pairs, and I I don't know. Guys, it's a bull market. I feel like maybe the time for opening up shorts are over. I would rather find other longs to it's like I'd rather take that money that I could be putting in a short and a find a reversal to a dip to buy with that money. Do you know what I mean? Because you have to have your money in a margin account to do the shorting there when instead it could be like in another coin. So most of my money is most of my stuff that is not already in a position is sitting on the sidelines waiting to go into a position rather than being short. You don't short the market when you're trying to buy the dip, right?
Indeed. In
Does that make sense?
fact, interestingly enough, I had Justin DM me a few minutes ago just to kind of just to give us a little moral support here. He is still away, of course, but he is, I think, checking in on the stream, and he did give us
Moral support, more like backseat driving.
yeah, he's given us some of his thoughts that I think he wanted me to share with the stream. So this is coming from Justin, and very briefly, he says it's a 3-day weekend, and price action will be chaotic. He says buy the dip, and DeFi positions will reach new highs. Be careful with leverage. Buy red candles on tasty alts. Use wide stops and stay hedged, guys. So Justin Wise, to some degree, concurs with you. This might be more of an opportunity to snipe some dips and not count the bull market out just yet.
Okay.
All right, on to the next request here. Thank you to Justin for the DM, but moving along. Let's see here. Let me find the next one. I got a lot of scrolling to do here. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm sure I'm gonna find something. Lots and lots of comments. T-Dub is asking for BNB USDT, please.
Ooh, sure.
Binance.
We're still in BNB Bitcoin for the group. Let's pull this up. Hmm. This is not a bad place to be buying. Like, if you had asked me up here, I would have said buy down in this area right here where there's this bulge. And that's kind of the area where we're in right now. Let me look at the Bitcoin pairing for a second here. This wasn't supposed to be resistance we rejected from. That's supposed to be resistance we break. Yeah, this feels just like a retest here. We're getting falling volume. I don't know if this is the exact right spot to buy Binance coin. It feels really good. I do like this spot. There's a lot of confluence with, I mean, the way I do my TA and stuff. And there's also some really good fundamental news out for Binance. They're going to be producing a uh, a new blockchain solution. I'm suddenly drawing a big old blank on it. Here we go. Let's pull this up.
Which one are you talking about?
Yeah. Binance takes on DeFi with Uniswap competitor and liquidity mining.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean Binance knows what's up, guys. You know what I mean? Binance was on the shitcoin train before almost anybody else. It was like Binance and Cryptopia, which is where you went to get your shitcoins last bull market. Maybe you also stumbled into hit BTC and had a very bad time. But
Tricks, maybe.
yeah, but for the most part, it's like that's where you got your alts from. Now this season, Binance has missed out a little bit because they were unprepared for this decentralized DeFi craze. They are not going to let that money sit on the table for much longer now. So they're creating a new blockchain. They're doing new DeFi solutions, and Binance is basically like, everybody, get your wallets out. Wait till you see what we do next. So yeah, I think now is a great time to be buying BNB. It's I do like this dip. I think hey, it's a bull market on. I know that. And I think BNB is going to be a big beneficiary of that market. And the technicals are there too with that breakout that I showed you a little bit ago. And it's not all the time that you have technicals that are that strong on the weekly, where it's like, oh yeah, just get into this thing. Huh. Then again, I don't know. Looking on the weekly, there's some volume down here that is totally unretested. Oh well, I guess we'll see soon. But I do like this spot on BNB, and we're in a BNB long for the group. So what can I say? Next.
All right, on to the next one. Let's see here. Wook Chewy's asking for based. Are you familiar with based?
Yeah.
Is that only on ChartX still?
Yep.
All right, let's load up the ChartX. According to Wook Chewy, it's down 42%, but 42 is his magic number, so oi oi oi.
I don't know. Something's going on with this data here on ChartX. This doesn't look right. I know base has been around longer than this.
Yeah, something's not right there.
Mm.
Uh,
I'll try Uniswap.vision.
let's try that.
Let's see, ChartX is so superior to Uniswap Vision. But it's still like, what's going on with this? So let's go over to regular old Uniswap. Let's see what we can see. Anytime Uniswap. I'm only doing a live show right now.
Wow, that's taking forever.
Yeah, I know. Oh, finally liquidity is starting to come down a little bit. So yeah, this weekend we're finally cooling off on Uniswap over here. Okay. Presumably this is it. Yeah, this is an awful lot of volume and liquidity for something that was like a fake version. So I imagine this is probably the real version. Daily chart. This is not enough data for me to work with. I just gotta. What about this one? Maybe this is the right one.
Besides the cool name, what does based actually do?
Beats the hell out of me, man. All right, tentatively, I would say this is a better place to buy it than it's better to buy it down here than it is to buy it up here. um, gosh, I don't know. I can't tell from this chart. I can't do any of my fancy line drawing onto this chart. But I do like this spot. I think we'll probably get a retest of this area right here, and then maybe another test of 200. But I wouldn't. Yeah, by the time I got to near 200, this is where I'd want to start picking it up. I want to pick anywhere between 2 and 300 right here. I like that area. As you can see, this is a resistance right here, support right here. So yeah, $200. It looks like a good spot.
Well, there you
But
go.
that's all I can really do with this very with my very primitive charting abilities right here. So
There you have it. All right, now on to the next one. Decron9 asks for MLN. Let's look at Melon.
okay, I hear Melon is baller. Melon baller. No.
Baller? No?
Okay. All right, never mind. All right.
Yeah, he's asking for the Melon USD pair.
Well, I guess I'm gonna presume you're along. Yeah, this is definitely a get out signal. I imagine we'll probably pull down to at least $14. Yeah. Um. Oof. Yeah, this is not a very healthy looking wick for this area holding. I imagine we'll probably see a relief rally here. This is a lot of bearishness all at once. This is not an area that you want to short from. So I imagine we'll probably see. See, that's the difficult part because we had this wick that threw everybody off here, but this area is still support. I think I would like to see a relief rally from this area, and then if it's possible, getting short from maybe up here. This is not the area that I wanted. Up here. So that would look something like this, I would imagine. Okay. That's the sound the price is making in this chart. So next. What else we got?
I'm going to quickly note that in the last couple of minutes, Bitcoin just tested 10.5. It looks like it got up to 10.566. So we did just cross over the 10.5 range. Come on, baby, keep going. I know there's a few people with the bottom feeder who took the bottom feeder signal and are looking to take profit around 10.7, from what I recall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get through a few more guys, and maybe not keep everybody waiting. The weekend does start around here. I do hope this kind of reminds me. Join us in the premium voice tomorrow. We're probably going to be watching some UFC, maybe a movie. We'll find out. All right, on to the next one. Have you looked into Unitrade trade token? It's supposed to change the UI in Uniswap, giving the user the ability to place orders amongst other things. No, I haven't really known too much about Unitrade. I'm not really sure if any kind of layer over Uniswap is going to address some of the issues.
A layer over Uniswap would work so much. For instance, if they could just roll up some of their transactions, that would reduce transaction costs by like what 60%. It would have to be a massive amount. And the whole going from ETH to WF to whatever, having these extra steps in here. A lot of these are unnecessary transactions that could be done behind the scenes. And the smart contracts are complicated. Well, you can make them complicated enough to do that. To kind of be like, okay, we've got 5 of this same transaction. Well, why don't we just send one transaction for like X times 5, and then we can save all this money on transaction costs. And even if the miners might not like that, but it would be so good for the ecosystem right now if they just did that.
Yep, anything that provides a little relief to the fees would be nice. I think you mentioned you had a transaction fail yesterday. I think I did too.
I had 2 $45 failures, $100 in failed Ethereum transactions yesterday. As you can see, I'm still super butthurt about it.
Yep.
That's a lot of money to lose on it. I could have fed the homeless or something like that. Instead, as a failed Ethereum transaction, get out of here.
You're not that altruistic.
Okay, sorry, definitely, yeah. No, it was a failed. Sorry, guys, this is just hypothetical. It was a failed Ethereum transaction.
Yeah, I got wrecked. I got wrecked with a fail yesterday too. I tried to panic, get out of a Uniswap position. It never went through, but I guess I'm going to be hodling that for new highs. Let me see here. Hi from Switzerland. Would you mind looking at WAN USDT? That's WAN USDT. That's from.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's take a look. MDP is also asking for EOS. MDP, if you scroll back to the first 15 minutes, I think we covered EOS very early in the stream.
This is kind of good looking.
Yeah, that looks
This is
kind of
like,
juicy.
what does this look like on the Bitcoin pairing? I would love to see the Bitcoin pairing pull back just a little bit more. What would that look like on one USDT? Or maybe it won't. Maybe we just won't get that. Now, if we had a pullback like that, okay, I do think we'll just get a little bit more pullback on the USDT pair, maybe down to this area. Yeah. But if you bought here or bought here, I do think this is just so ripe for continuation. This is a really interesting looking chart, and it's the weekly wick. If it closed anything like this, if the weekly does not, at this point, if the weekly does not close up here, this is a very bearish wick. Come to think of it, yeah. So in that case, I would want the pullback to this area right here before we get a continuation, because this is the market saying someone dumped their bags at this height, and that someone is not you, and now price is going to be going down to here. All right, so that's my feeling on one chain. I do like this chart. Is a very bullish looking chart, but I'm not convinced yet that this is where we pick up necessarily. But it is very suggestive. I agree. It's a good looking chart.
All right, there you have it. I see S180XT in the live chat. He's asking for storage USDT, please.
All right.
Pull the storage up. That some kind of bird?
Storage. Ooh, really interesting recovery today, huh?
Oh yeah, what's going on with storage? To perform
Hey,
like this during a
hey,
market
storage.
route.
How you doing, man?
How you doing?
Looks ripe for continuation, guys. Especially if we get this. I would wait for a confirmed. I would wait for a confirmed Fisher or TC signal here. Just make sure that we get the turn. I suppose we could see something like where we get this, where we're oversold. We get a relief rally up into resistance. More bags are dumped up here, and then we get a little more downward movement. So maybe something like here. It could happen, but like, to prevent that, we're gonna wait for a confirmed turn. It might not happen. Like, maybe we'll get a candle here. Maybe we'll get a candle here. It'll suck missing it, but we just don't want to buy the top of a green candle unless we are convinced that we are going to get follow through. Because where are we going to set a stop if we enter here? Down here? Ugh, that's ugly. Yeah, I just wait for like a confirmed break, wait for a confirmed TT, and then you can make a move on it. But yeah, storage is totally bay here. So.
All right. Let's continue a little bit. I see Mr. Ether has a comment here, and he says, "Did you know that there's a new coin on Coinbase, Cello?" Yeah, I think Cello listed a week ago on Coinbase Pro, and yesterday it just arrived on regular Coinbase for retail to pick up, and I think Cello pumped like 40% on the Coinbase listing.
Well, it looks like it may be ripe for some continuation. So we do get a break here of resistance. I would love to see a little bit more follow through after today, but we've got a bullish divergence here. We've got TT pointed up. We've got this break of resistance. it's pretty suggestive. But what I don't like is the decreasing buy volume right here. It feels like, we're just kind of like, we got the listing pump. Actually, no, is this the listing pump? This is the listing pump, probably. And then, we're just kind of like pushing up into someone's bags. And then those people have got to get dumped on before Cello can really move.
All right. Thanks for the heads up, Mr. Ether, on the cello. Good call. Next, Mr. Ether might as well answer one of his requests while we're at it. He was asking for hot USDT. Let's take a look at hot.
Okay. By the way, Cello Bitcoin right here looking way better than Cello USDT, which makes sense because all the USDT pairs are going to show yesterday's big ass Bitcoin crash. So if you told me that you took this signal right here, I'd be like, yeah, okay, well that makes sense. It's pretty strong looking. So I don't want to. Cello is not like some of the other DeFi coins. If you entered in this spot, you wouldn't be stupid, and because you got a TT bottom above 0, you've got this break of resistance. You could set a stop below this low right here, and then if we close on the other side of this, then yeah, I think that's your invalidation. I think you could take this trade because the setup works in this area. You've got this break, you've got this. It's just, there's enough signals here. There's a trade on the table here, so you can do something like this. And then right here, where would we target? Let's see. Hold on. Don't do that. Here we go. So one is, I don't know, what is that? 52,000 sats. And then 64,000 is the 1.618. I think these are probably your best bets for nearby resistance. What does that look like? Yeah, you really got to hope that we hit the second one, because if you're just shooting for here, the RR isn't really there. I mean, 1.35 R is Anyway, something to think about. You could maybe take Cello here. I think there's a possibility.
All right,
What
there you
else
have
we
it.
got?
Next, gonna do that hot BTC.
That's right.
Actually, my bad. Hot USDT. It's the USDT pair he wants. Let's look at hot.
Yeah. Well, it is a nice retest of the point of control. Let's pull out a higher time frame. This is a pretty nice spot to be buying hot in, but we could also see a retracement down to this level right. You see this little bulge right here. And that spot's not there for nothing. I think if you look on lower time frames, you'll see that's a smaller consolidation area. People have been putting in some volume. So these are the two potential areas. Either this one that we're in right now, and then if this area were to not hold, then I would expect us to go back to this area, but not down here. And this is already a pretty, this is going to print a bullish divergence here. I don't know when this is going to turn up. We would have to have a very significant fall to like this area right away to not end up printing a bullish divergence. But I imagine that as soon as we get like a turn up here, we'll get one there, and then the divergence will look something like that. Bam, like that. And then in that case, that'll be a nice little signal to go. But we could still break all the way through to here, so keep your eyes on it. Next.
There you have it. All right, guys. We're going to be heading slowly toward the close, so if you have a few more requests, this is when to get them in. In the meantime, I'm going to quickly scroll up a bit, read a few more comments, see if I missed any requests. I see MDP here, and he asks, what is your opinion about OMG, Omizago? Honestly, I don't know too much about Omizago. It's been around for a couple of years. I believe it's like a Korean well, I guess the development is based in Korea. It's a bit of a...
It's Ethereum Layer 2.
Yeah, it's an Ethereum Layer 2, Korean-based, and I see it's been trending recently, and if there's anything the market has demonstrated is the need for potential layer 2 scaling solutions to Ethereum. Ethereum desperately needs them, so potentially OMG has got a solid use case for that. Otherwise, I'm not super familiar with OMG besides the fact that I held OMG bags back in the day, and I think I held them all the way down. All right, but that was unfortunate, but that was 2017 for you. Let's keep looking here. MDP. Okay, my mistake. Let's scroll a little more. Let's see what we find. Okay, McNuggets here asks for DIA, DIA.
Isn't DIA getting a big listing soon? I heard some very bullish news about DIA. Well, apparently the market doesn't think so. Very helpful. I guess I got a Binance listing because there it is.
I think, yeah, they got a futures listing on Binance.
Yeah. Apparently people are using it to short it into the ground.
Yeah, hit an all-time high and then got shorted into the dirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so wow, this is already down 50% on in the last 2 days. So yeah. Yeah, there's just there's not a lot of data to go on here. Let's I'm sure we get a little bit more data here. That was an interesting token name. Did you see that out of the corner of your eye? I saw that out of the corner of my eye. Let's pull that up again. Huh. Well, they say there's no truth in advertising these days, but here we are. Let's finish up with Dia, and then we'll take over Bitcoin. I don't know. I feel like sellers are getting exhausted here on Dia. Like, they did push it down that much. But now sellers are kind of running out of supply, and price is not dipping in that way. We're seeing seeing sell momentum here. Right now, I think if you bought anywhere in this area, like between $3 and $2.25, you're good. And then you would know if it like closed under 225. Then you're like, okay, well this position just isn't working out the way I thought it was going to. But I don't dislike Dia here, even though this is super ugly. But I mean, lots of alts are down a whole bunch right now, and that's not necessarily not necessarily to their detriment. And then let's check out Diarrhea Coin, of course.
Not sure I even want to look into that one. Kind of no-name crap is this? Has it only been around for 2 hours, for real?
No, that looks like it was early. I think it must have been a rug pull, which is. Oh, this is Big Fat Diarrhea. Oh, well, apparently I have been saying the name wrong, guys. This is not Diarrhea Coin. This is Big Fat Diarrhea Coin.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, this was his bad rug pull.
Well, I guess the name should have been a warning.
Yeah. Looks like someone made off with about like $14,000, I think.
Wow. Just wow.
Well, it's half and half. So I think they made off with about $7,000 in half.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. I don't know if anybody's looking at the Soft Yearn DeFi token that launched. Sci-Fi launched 2 days ago, and it failed miserably at its first rebase.
Hold on, let me pull up. I've got their apology note.
Yep.
Or
Pull
what
it up.
have you.
Pull that up. Pull it up. But they got sniped. Someone sniped the liquidity pool in the middle of their rebase.
Okay, can you guys see this?
Let me just alt tab here. Yep, I'm all over that.
All right, I'll go ahead and read. Dear community, we are deeply sorry for what happened during the rebase period. We'll explain briefly what went wrong and how we intend to fix it. We promise you all this. We are not going anywhere. The Soft Yearn team has decided to pursue the following resolution. 1. Recreate the SYFI token. 2. Airdrop everyone the amount of tokens that they had before the rebase. And 3. Adding at least 250 ETH to the initial liquidity pool. Some people have contacted us saying that they will help contribute to. And 4. Fix the rebase mechanism. We probably should make that one number 1, guys, but I digress. So here's what happened. During our very first rebase, at 8 in the morning, September 3rd, a malicious actor bought 2 SYFI and timed the adjustment of their token holdings with the Uniswap sell. So during the transaction, the token rebased, but the Uniswap price remained unchanged. Thus, the perpetrator's sell was amplified to the extent of wiping out most of the liquidity provided in the Uniswap pool. The rebase itself was also incorrect. This sentence is what kills me every time I read this. It's like, yada, yada, yada. Oh, and the rebase itself was also incorrect. So the YFI rate per SYFI was not streamlined properly. Isn't it just like 1/10? Wasn't that how it was going to be? It was like a certain percentage.
It was, and I think they were off by like a decimal place or two, and it made the whole thing even worse.
It's just, I mean, how... That's rough.
They literally got yammed. This is what happened to Yam.
Yeah.
The first rebase...
Except without the governance problem. This is not like a governance thing per se, but it's still like a similar rebase.
Yeah, similar mess. Rebase blew up the protocol, and somebody, of course, made out with all the liquidity. People were fuming yesterday, but yeah, these rebase tokens are dicey to say the least.
Yeah,
so
just say no to rebase tokens. Like a rebase currency is something that has never existed before in the history of humanity, because the technology has not existed until like this year, basically, with smart contracts. Nowhere else is there a currency that can by itself go into your wallet and reduce the amount of that currency that you have in your wallet everywhere all at once. So it can grow and shrink to meet supply and demand at will. But I don't see any need for a rebasing token. The market doesn't know how to price rebasing tokens, and people don't know how to make rebasing tokens, as you can see. Just stay away. If someone is like, oh, it's like Ample, it rebases, you're like, okay, well, thanks for the warning.
I mean, at least Ample seems to be working, but looks like Sci-Fi is going the way of Yam, and prepare for Sci-Fi V2. Maybe this time they'll get it right. Okay, All right, guys, we're heading closer to the close, so I'm just gonna get the last very few requests in here. Let me take a quick look. Okay, I see few people mentioning gold, so we're gonna have to look at gold because we haven't really touched on that yet. So we'll dive into gold. Blue Box Territory says, Alex, do you think that gold is retesting the breakout trend line, and do you think BTC is doing similar? So let's answer Blue
I
Box's.
see what you mean about retesting the breakout trend line. Entirely plausible. Yes. So palladium does not look like it's stopping anytime soon. As a matter of fact, today it broke the high. Let me mark this down. We should take a long on palladium today if we haven't already. Where's the baseline here? I think it's a perfect time to be taking along at the end of today's thing. Yep, got a nice little baseline bounce and everything. Palladium looks good here. Silver still have support. Platinum looks ugly. Let's take out the 3-day here. Let's see what this looks like. I don't know. I see decreased selling pressure. Kind of looks like the Fisher's resetting here. While we move sideways, the Fisher decreases. Then boom, we just go after the races. Yeah, man, I do think it is just a retest of this. I would be rather surprised if we break through 1900 here. Obviously, if we did close below 1900 on the daily, I'd want out of this long. But it's a good position to take here, and I think you've got more upside than you do downside. So what I mean is like the R is there for the long side hold, where the R is not there for this. So don't short support here. I do think you can take gold, but palladium is the one to watch for. I think palladium is about to make a move up to maybe 25,000.
All right. I see a question from Philip Carr, and he asked this earlier, so I think it's time to answer him. He's asking if we can define liquidity for him because we mentioned liquidity a lot. And okay, so the best of my understanding, the best way to describe liquidity is how easily an asset can be bought or sold without dramatically affecting price. So if there's a lot of the asset in the order book, or I guess in the order book might be one way to look at it. There's plenty of it to buy and sell into. So if you're dumping a lot of it onto the market, it's not going to dramatically affect the price. It was how you would describe a high liquidity situation. Of course, a low liquidity situation would be kind of the opposite. There's not a lot of the asset out there in the order book to absorb your buy or sell order through, and it would dramatically affect the price if you were to
You would
sell it to those.
experience a
Yeah.
lot of slippage.
Yes, so I don't know if you have something to add to that, Alex. Maybe a more simple take on what liquidity is.
I think this is perfect. Yeah, liquidity is how much of the assets there are to buy and sell. There's buy side liquidity, there's sell side liquidity. You have that with base and quote pairs. And then we talk about liquidity all the time on Uniswap because like that's sort of the point of Uniswap. So the way Uniswap works is people deposit the base asset and the quote asset onto the exchange. It's locked up in a smart contract. And that liquidity is what allows people to buy and sell on Uniswap without any kind of centralized exchange. So it essentially makes its own order books based on how much of the different assets there are available. And so that's why you hear about liquidity a lot, because people can pull those assets back out, and then it makes it an illiquid market. And if you try and sell your coins, it would just like send the price directly to zero. And so people could get trapped in these markets. Normally it's only institutions that have to worry about very illiquid markets. But the order books become thin enough on Uniswap if the liquidity isn't there that retail traders themselves I've got a few positions where if I were to dump my entire stack, it would drop price 20%. I mean, yes, I hold a lot of that token, but I'm not a whale. This isn't like millions of dollars or anything like that. But the liquidity that exists on the exchange is the liquidity that exists on the exchange. So that's, I guess, all I have to say about that.
Okay, well, hope that answers that question. Okay, guys, we are heading toward the conclusion, so I really do have to cherry pick the last few comments and requests so we don't go too over time. Yeah, we're getting there. 1 hour, 35 minutes. Okay. Blue Box Territory asks again, thoughts on SPY going into this 3-day weekend? How do you think retail and smart money will react?
I feel like I covered that at the beginning of the show. I think it's probably a good 3-day weekend buying opportunity. Um, I mean, the markets aren't open over the weekend, so it's not like anything's going to happen on the markets much. I mean, there's aftermarket trading, but you can't really participate in it. So, my advice would be to just sit on your hands over the weekend and see what happens. If you got to re-enter a position, you got to re-enter a position. You should be trading with stops, or at least if you watch our show and you're not trading with stops, then yeah, I tell you. But it's just I would yeah, I would hold off and wait to see what happens. If we do experience a broad trend reversal, then we're only a day or two into it, and I would rather presume that price will continue going in the direction that it has been going because it's generally how things bear out.
All right, well, there you have it. Okay. Iggy Jiggy asks, can we look at ANT USDT? It's having a rally now. Can you tell me what you think if you haven't already looked at ANT?
Well, we looked at it yesterday. I wouldn't really call this a rally per se. Um, it is up a little bit last few minutes. This could be a good bottom position. What does that look like? I'd probably try and grab it on a pullback back into this area. I know you're going to be tempted to buy this big old green candle. Be like, oh, me too, I want in. But we will see some more wicks down into this area. But this is not necessarily a bad spot to take it. Do we have any? We have Ant on any other markets here? Still Aragon. Did they? I think this got taken off of Binance to put back onto Binance. I don't know. It's kind of tempting looking, We got a 12-hour signal here. We've got kind of a retest of all this volume. Mike could take it up to here. Resistance, support, resistance again. It's not a bad reversal on ANT, but I would keep track of the broader markets because most likely I would imagine we're gonna retest up here. And then, like other coins, we're gonna make one more big low, I think. And then that is your buying opportunity. Something like this. You can see there's volume up here that it would want to right up into, and then whoever dumps their bags, and then we get to move down. So yeah, I do like it, but not for a moon mission, if that makes sense.
Well, then, I guess that answers the final question. I think we are gonna have to. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna, agency asked one, and agency is my man, so I'm gonna have to squeeze in at least one more for agency. He's asking. I'll take a look at RLC, please.
Looked at RLC for you yesterday, bud. Yeah, this is the buy zone. That's what I said yesterday, and it's still true. So I would just probably pick up in this area, and well, we'll see what happens from here. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, there's nothing's changed from yesterday. We were in this area yesterday, and we're still in this area today. Um, you see, there's a nice little point of control here. This is previous resistance, turn support. So yeah, I think this is a good buy area. And then maybe we get that same rejection that I've been talking about in other places. But RLC was an early runner, and it's had a lot of consolidation through the majority of this alt season. So if it decided to run from here, I wouldn't be surprised. I picked myself up a small bag of RLC in this area. Kind of wish I waited till this area, but I still feel good about RLC for a longer term thing, in the bull market. Yeah, so I guess buy in this area.
There you have it, folks. Everybody in the chat, do agency a favor and pump his bags for him. Pick up some RLC this weekend.
Yeah.
Um.
I've been
Okay,
thinking
guys.
of having an entire section of the show where the audience chills us their bags.
I
I don't
know,
want to
right?
do it
That
today,
would
mind you. We already
no,
did. We already kind of did that, but
indeed. But that's an idea for a show. Let me just see something here.
yeah, I was talking it over with Justin this past weekend. We're thinking, and I don't want to blow our load too soon. So these are still just thoughts, but maybe dividing the show into three sections rather than having news and charts, etc. Where it's more like we've got technicals, fundamentals, and pumpamentals, and then pumpamentals is the audience shows us their bags, and we just look at what's being hyped right now and stuff like that. 'Cause it's a bull market. There might not necessarily be a good fundamental or technical reason, but there's an excellent, marketing reason. It's oh hey, they're doing such and such things. What are you doing?
Whoops, sorry about that.
Hello, are you alive?
Yeah, I'm still here. My bad. Sorry,
It sounds like someone threw a bag over your head, man.
No, my mic came loose. My apologies, guys.
Okay.
Um. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna get you to sneak one last one in as we cross the finish line. This one, I just figured out. Okay, so this is on the I think this is a German crypto mining corp. It's called P1A. Type P1A into TradingView. It should be one of the first results.
I'm clicking it. All right. Hmm. Pretty ugly chart. I mean, it's not necessarily the price. No, that is an ugly chart. No, man, this is ugly as sin. You better have some real fundamental news for wanting to buy this thing. It's down at 17 cents from an all-time high of $6. Yeah, that is the market has abandoned you for dead. So what is there? Is there some fundamental news that we need to know about? Spill it on us, buddy.
Yeah, MDP says that they hold it and they're just wondering what your personal thoughts
Oh,
are. Yeah, see, here's
oh,
the
okay.
thing. We don't really have too much personal thoughts on it as we're not too familiar with this particular product, but if you're holding it,
It looks like the market has abandoned ship, if you ask me.
oy oy oy.
I think that's the literal definition of it can't get any lower, but then it did over here. Yeah, I guess it's interesting that a little bit of volume has come in, but I mean, there's no way I would buy this area. But if you are stuck holding it, then I am very sorry to hear that, sir.
Yeah, F in the
Been
chat for
sideways all year.
F in the chat for P1A.
Yeah.
This one's a goner. Um, I'm not sure if we have time to get into SXP. We very well. I think we already covered SXP, didn't we?
Yeah, the S&P.
No, SXP swipe.
Oh, swipe.
Yeah.
No, we looked at SNX.
Oh, we look at SNX. That's right. I'm not sure if they're even asking for a chart request. I think they're asking what our thoughts on swipe are. Um, of course,
So some
Swipe is like the multi-asset crypto wallet that also has like a Visa debit card. I don't know if that's already
basically like an
available.
MCO competitor.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a MCO kind of crypto.com competitor. I'm not too familiar with it. Generally, though, I do like the concept of crypto to fiat gateways, how to get crypto actually functional and used in day-to-day transactions out in the real world, and it seems like this is one of the ways to do it. This could very well be where traditional finance and crypto really merges for retail usage, but I'm not too familiar with Swipe, guys. Um,
Yeah,
okay.
I think overall, I would love to see just a little bit more pullback here. This feels like we're retesting resistance right here. But then if you can buy it down in this area here, this looks pretty strong. And then I imagine in that case, yeah, so buy in this area, probably get some movement here, and then break out, retest this way. So I think we're probably going to get some sideways movement in this area for SXP, something like this. So that's how the chart looks to me right now. Just it needs some more consolidation. And if you look at SXP on CoinTrader.pro, these are way new highs. So we should not be surprised to see that. Yeah, see, this area is the previous all-time high. So yeah, so really I think anywhere, I feel like you guys just asked me about this chart a couple days ago and I said the same thing. Anywhere in this area is pretty good and it's normal and what we should expect. And like I said, I imagine we're gonna get something similar to that.
Well, there you have it. That's Swipe for you, folks. All right, we're gonna draw toward the conclusion now. This is it. I know I said we're wrapping it up, but now we're totally wrapping it up. Blue Box Territory asks me, Jack, how many coins do you own? If you're asking about like my portfolio, my crypto portfolio, I'm not really that diversified. I'm pretty heavy in Bitcoin. Most of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, followed by Ethereum. I'm into, let me see what else is in this portfolio. I got a bag of EOS, a bag of Link, a few Uniswap coins. I recently got a little heavier into CRO, the crypto.com coin, maybe some odds and ends here and there, but realistically, I'm really just a bit of a Bitcoin maximalist. My portfolio is quite heavy in the Bitcoin, guys. How about you, Alex? Are you a Bitcoin maxi or are you a full degen altcoin guy who has his all his Hail Marys spread out across a roulette table of alts?
I wouldn't quite describe it like that, but I do own a lot more altcoins than I do Bitcoin right now. And just because that's the way the market has been for the last 4 months. Like, let's not forget Bitcoin's basically traded sideways for like the last 6 months. So I do have most of my stuff, but I'm not over diversified. It's probably like 5 or 6 altcoins represent the majority of my holdings. And then those I sort of have it spread out in such a way that it wouldn't be too hard for me to like turn that into Bitcoin. So I'm not trapped in my holdings, is what I'm saying.
He's not trapped. He's got his eye on the prize, and that's a Bitcoin. Just make sure you flood into BTC at the right time and don't get left holding the tether bag or whatever the collapsing altcoin asset may be. That could be that great day of crypto reckoning that comes upon us one day. You don't know when it will come, but it will. And it will blow out the entire alt market and leave only Bitcoin standing. That is, of course, the Bitcoin maximalist narrative that all of these alts are heading to zero, that this market is way overcrowded, and there really isn't much use for many of these, and it's Bitcoin all the way. So, Alex, my advice to you, if there's any, sell your bags, bro. Get into Bitcoin while you still can. Save yourself, my man. Save yourself.
All my alts, get rid of them.
I'll pay you 50 cents on the dollar for your alts right now.
Haha, sucker.
Okay, guys. Wook Chewy says he's working with around 40 different coins. Oh, God. My God, man.
If you're in 40 different coins, you're over diversified.
He's a little over diversified, but hey, maybe he'd get the last laugh. Maybe he's going to be holding the next hot dog and show us all.
Wait, didn't hot dog go to zero?
Yeah, but it briefly went up, so there's that brief glimmer of hope where you think you made it. You're calling the local Lambo dealer. Okay, hold on. I see some panic in the room here. Look at OMG. Okay, before we leave, I swear to God, guys, this is it. This is the last chart. But take another look at OMG. What's going on with OMG right now? I see a lot of messages.
I pulled the chart up. Like OMG is in a buy area.
Oh, I know you did, but something's up with it right now. Let me pull it up. Let me see if I can confirm if there's some kind of low time frame activity on OMG. Is OMG blowing up right now?
I mean, it's up like 10% today.
My trading view is taking forever to load. Here we go. Come on, OMG. Is there something going on? Don't spam OMG in the comments, guys, if something is not popping off in OMG as we speak. Let's take a look. OMG USD. I guess. Yeah. Well, it's up 10% in the last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's up 20% today. Like this is the buy area that I have marked out for you guys. But this is also most likely a retest of resistance here. Well, you're gonna buy OMG at resistance underneath the baseline on the first big dip. I don't know, guys. I just don't buy it. I imagine that we will probably see at least another dip down towards 3,000, if not like a further dip down. But yeah, I know it's up like 20% today. Oh my God. But I mean, yeah, these are highly volatile assets, and yesterday they had huge moves down. So today they're correcting a little bit. They're correcting upwards before a continuation, I think. So.
All right, no panic, guys.
Like, we're looking to buy the dip, but we're not necessarily looking to buy the dip today, guys. Like, buy the dip does not mean like 5 minutes from now go run out. Like yeah. Anyway, yeah.
All right. Well, it's been a productive breaking Bitcoin market update for today, I guess.
Yeah.
It's been a great pleasure writing it out with you today, Alex. Much thanks for joining us yet again. Sorry for the late start to today's show, guys, but it was either a no-show or an hour late. So I'm glad we came through. I'm glad Alex showed up. As for everybody wondering when Justin returns, I can almost guarantee you guys Justin will be back on Monday. Thank you so much for hanging in this week, but I think Justin will be back in his regular form. Like I said, come Monday, so just ride out the weekend.
This isn't even my final form.
Unless, of course, your American long weekend interferes with Justin's plans. Maybe he does go away for another day or so. Hopefully that's not the case. Justin, if you're listening, get your rear back in the hot seat and get back in the reins of the show, bro. Monday will be the reawakening of the beast. Hopefully Justin's return will coincide with a big market move. And last but not least,
the returning.
I see someone just said BTC's moving again. Yeah, it is
I don't
actually.
care.
You don't
Guys, it's
care.
the end of the show.
It's the end of the
Bitcoin's going
show.
to move every 5 minutes for the
Yep.
rest of the time. So.
Yep. Let's see if we cross over 10.6. Good luck anybody who took the bottom feeder trade. We're almost at that TP, boys. So, crack a beer. Enjoy your weekend, guys. This is it. We're heading to the close. Thank you to everybody who was in here. Thank you to MDP, Blue Box Territory, Wook Chewy, Mr. Ether, Philip Carr.
Yeah, thanks a lot for showing up, guys. Really appreciate it.
I do appreciate all the regulars that come in here and support us. Couldn't do without you, McNuggets. GBU Professor Wally showed up a little late. Shout outs to Professor Wally and everybody else. You know who you are. Thank you again, guys. Catch us in the Discord. Like I said, we'll probably be watching UFC tonight, so do join us for tomorrow night's UFC action live. But this is it. I'm going to click the stream ending button now. Cheers, everybody.
No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Yeah, that one. All right, guys. Cheers.